Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the new variant of Pisces, the C8R. So this is the medical variant of the Pisces. It's a ship that we've been after for quite a while and now it's here. It's amazing. I'm very impressed by this tiny little snub ship. I think it has a lot going for it. Not only will it be able to fit in various ships throughout the verse, Carrack, Odyssey, Galaxy, I think Galaxy, almost certainly the Galaxy. It's going to have that flexibility. It will be my go-to bunker mission ship from now on. The Pisces are notorious for being fast, agile, very nice to fly in atmosphere, and this ship is no exception. It is incredible. What they've done internally for this ship, I think, is sublime. I wasn't expecting it to actually look so medical, if that makes sense. It really does look like one of the hospital areas in and around Stanton. You do get that surgical feeling that you find on board the Carrack. Obviously, being the same manufacturer, there is shared design language. In fact, it does look like a mini Carrack medical bay inside this Pisces. So I was very, very impressed with that. So obviously I had to pick one up, and that is now going to be a permanent member of my fleet. In terms of price, it's $60, which I think is fairly respectable. But I will be using this to clear out those bunkers and heal those injuries and get my food and water replenished. We have the fridge with medical supplies, water and food and things like that, so it's really well thought out. It's an excellent addition to anyone's fleet, in my humble opinion. The C8R Pisces Rescue is a snub medical ship manufactured by Anvil Aerospace, often deployed from a Carrack, Pathfinder or other large ships. It is the medical variant of the C8 Pisces that is a deft and swift search and rescue ship. An on-board Tier 3 medical bed allows the Pisces to treat minor injuries better than a med pen, stabilising patients on their way to a larger medical facility. The C8 series of snub explorers and support craft is legendary in military and civilian circles, not only as the trusty companions to the Carrack Pathfinders, but as powerful as capable ships in their own right. C8s are regularly utilised in tight, difficult extractions, leading to the development of this newest member of the Pisces family, the rescue and recovery focused C8R. Now, the dimensions of this ship are exactly the same as the other Pisces. There's a few differences in the fact that this one is a little bit faster in a straight line than the standard Pisces, and also they did say that they've reduced the range, long-term range of this compared to the exploration variant of this particular ship. Also, this ship will not be modular, it will be a dedicated variant, so that's something to note. But I can see this being used a lot by orgs. Something like this will be super handy on the battlefield when two giant orgs are fighting each other. You can almost guarantee there's going to be a medical Pisces in the area picking up injured troops, injured crew and all of that good stuff. So that is something to look forward to in the future, I think. There are a few differences with this ship compared to the standard version. You know, obviously we have the flashing Nenor lights, which are awesome. We get them on top and located on the belly of the ship. Which is a nice touch. Obviously you want people to know that you're a medical ship, either on your way to help people or pick up casualties in a war zone. I'm looking forward to that. I think we will see a lot of C8R Pisces knocking around those giant org battles. But it's just such a different contrast to ship if you look at things like the Cutlass Red, where when you're in the back of that ship, it's very dark, dingy, cold, doesn't feel medical, whereas this ship, straight away you get that immediate impression that you are in fact inside a medical ship and you're going to get treatment. It looks sterile, clean, tidy, the sort of thing you would expect from a medical ship. And it begs the question, what would the Apollo look like? That's another ship that I'm interested to see, and might have to pick one of those up. But I think if this ship suits my needs, then I really don't think I'll need to pick up an Apollo. The Apollo obviously have superior medical beds, but yeah, it's an interesting one to keep an eye out for. And I kind of feel like the Cutlass Red, although it's better than in combat for sure and has stronger shields, at the moment I'm favouring this great little snub ship over my Cutlass Red at the moment. We'll see how it plays out in the future, but it's intriguing nonetheless. So we still get a jump seat. Obviously, we've lost some cargo space from the original Pisces to make way for the medical bed and the medical facilities in that area. So I think you could probably I think you could still use this as a space taxi. I think there's opportunities to do it. You could have someone sat on the bed or lying on the bed. We do still get the jump seat, and then obviously we have the pilot at the front here, and it's a very nice cockpit. Always been a fan of the Pisces cockpit. It wraps round the pilot, everything's easy to reach, really nice and tight. Not too much room, visibility is fine, even with the Nenor lights on. As you can see there, they're not too blurry or in your face, and they shouldn't be because they're on top of the cockpit directly above the pilot. Very nice place to sit and operate the ship. And the big plus for me, really, that kind of tilts me towards this ship more than the Cutlass Red, is its maneuverability and atmospheric handling is superb. Its acceleration in and out of atmosphere is excellent. It really does not struggle at all, nor should it. So these are big ticks in my boxes for this little snub medical gameplay ship, with a lot of future potential and various missions that we can complete in this. Obviously we could do the medical contracts. I'm kind of like the idea of going down into the new sand caves we're getting and rescuing people, because almost certainly someone's going to fall and break a neck, or a leg, or both. And I think exploring sand caves, rescuing someone is going to be, well, a good thing. I also think, again, drug running is something I think this ship would be super useful for as well. No one would suspect that the little rescue ship is hauling drugs. I like that sort of deceptive look and gameplay we can get with that. So that's something to look out for. In terms of the look of the ship, it's exactly the same, apart from the Nenor lights. It looks cool. The two main engines at the back are very nice. Got no complaints. It looks smaller than it actually is, the Pisces, I think, in my personal opinion. It's very deceptive, the size of it. But yeah, just a very impressive ship. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad I've got one. And then it's just a case of waiting for IAE to finish and putting it to work with all the various missions to see how I get on with it. Because if I feel it's superior to the Cutlass Red, I think I will end up melting my Cutlass Red. Which is sad, because I love that ship. But I'm starting to like this one a little bit more. I think I'm going to have a lot more fun with it. In terms of weaponry, it's pretty much the same as the other Pisces. You know, we have the 2 size 1s on the front, and we have 2 size 1 missiles just located under those winglets. So really not a combat ship. Do not expect to be fighting things unless you absolutely have to. Anything bigger than this, you will get crushed. Maybe you could take on some starter ships. It depends on the situation, I guess, but not really designed for combat. More the weaponry on board is found just to defend yourself, maybe get a few hits and get the hell out. With your lights flashing, get the hell out of there. But yeah, I wouldn't try and get into combat. My only concern with the bunker missions are those turrets, which I think will quite easily chew through the shields on this thing, and this won't have a lot of armor either when we get armor in the game, so that is something I will look out for. Okay, let's take a look inside this wonderful little snub ship. So you can see we're at the back here, and on the floor on the right where it says no step, just by the green door button, we have a contamination zone, and that's pretty cool. These are the same ones found on the Carrack, or very similar to it. As I said before, same manufacturer, so same principles being implied. We have 2 components above those as well. We have the jump drive and cooler. And then you can just see right through to the cockpit. So we have like this sink area, which obviously, hygiene being very important on a medical ship. Below that is the fridge, which is stocked, which is nice. Kind of similar to the one found on the Redeemer. And it's normally stocked. Hopefully it stays stocked, because sometimes it just sort of disappears. But we have various oxygen tanks here, waste disposal bin, rubber gloves, surgical kit, and you can see the crew storage bins above that. So we can store items in the overhead bins, which is very useful. Then we have the tier 3 medical bed with its own monitor. Just beyond that you'll see the patient terminal, but it's very nicely lit in here, and it's night and day compared to the Cutlass Red. It is an excellent design, this ship. very clinical, surgical, clean, and you do get the feeling that you are in fact in a ship that will cater to your medical needs. Whereas in the Cutlass Black, the Cutlass Red, you're probably more paranoid that you're going to come out with some sort of infection. Whereas, in this ship, everything looks very clean and sterile, and that is a look that you want in a medical ship. And then we have the ramp at the back. Again, there's the decontamination zone, and I can't wait for all of that to work. Or the steam, or whatever they use coming out of those jets is going to be awesome. All the components being housed at the back. Yes, very tidy ship indeed. I'm very pleased with it. Okay, so we discussed pretty much everything with this ship at the moment. What we'll do now, guys, is briefly touch on the components that we'll find on board the Pisces. Okay, so let's take a look at what we will get with the stock Pisces C8R. Okay, so we'll start with coolers. We have two of them. These are bracers, size 1, grade 3, military class from Aegis Dynamics. Now, I do believe that at some point in the future, the medical bed will have some sort of power drain on the ship, so stay tuned for that. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. The power plant is a Regulus, size 1, grade 3, military from Aegis Dynamics. The QT drive you'll find is the Expedition, grade C, size 1, grade 3, civilian class QT drive. Haven't used it enough to decide whether I'm going to change it or not. I probably will. Shield generator, we get the Shimmer, which is a size 1, grade 3, and it's actually a stealth drive, which is interesting. I was not expecting a stealth shield component on a ship like this, but it is what it is. Paints, as you can see here, I've got the Pisces Code Blue livery, and it's awesome. Vehicle weapons are as follows. We have a missile rack, MSD 111 missile rack, and on there you will find the Marksman 1 missile, which is size 1, grade 1. It's an infrared tracking missile, so heat signatures to get kills with this. I mean, you're not going to get kills, but you might do some damage, enough to get away. And then on the nose we have the CF117 Bulldog repeaters, which is size 1, grade 1, and that is pretty much all she wrote in terms of components for this ship. Okay guys, let's begin our walk around of the C8R Pisces rescue ship. As you can see, we have plenty of flashing lights, which is awesome. Who doesn't like flashing lights? So we have the quad gear landing system, and you can see that we have the flashing lights on the belly of the vessel, which is nice. I think they will probably double up as pretty good landing lights for when it's dark and the weather's not too good. We have the size 1 missile strapped to the wings there. The wings do fold up at the tips. That's when it's in its landing configuration. So although this ship is small, it is fairly spacious inside from the design of it. We have the 2 engines and the ramp located at the back. We can see right through into there, and we'll go have a good poke around in there in a moment. So nothing untoward. Like I said, it's all fairly standard stuff that you'll find on the other variants of the Pisces. Difference being that this one doesn't have the range as the exploration version, but it is faster, and this ship is rapid through atmosphere. So that's pretty cool. Again, we have the other size 1 missile located there. Some vector thrusters on the side of the ship, and we end up back at the nose where we have the 2 size 1 Bulldogs and reverse thrusters for this ship, and of course the 2 Nenor lights on top. Okay guys, what we'll do now, because it's not exactly the longest walk around being such a cute little adorable ship, is we'll make our way to the back and get inside and have a good rummage round to see what we can find. So here we go through the little medical wrap. Love that it's got a cross on there, and we're greeted immediately by the decontamination zone, which is awesome, with the do not obstruct everywhere icons. We have the various switches for operating the door. I can't wait for the decontamination thing to be an actual thing, like when you're walking through here and you get covered in mist and you can't walk through. So we have the jump drive here. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't access any of these panels for some reason. So maybe my thought process behind that is maybe they're going to do all of the Pisces at once, right, and release them as a whole to gold standard. I think that would be the thing, because I can't quite figure out why we can't open these yet. But we'll shut the door. The ramp is fairly quick, and we come through to this wonderful medical area. We have the storage bins, oxygen tanks for your patients, so we can access these storage bins and put your bits and bobs, your trophies, your scalps, whatever it might be, into those bins, which is nice. Waste disposal, the nice sink, and then the fridge underneath that with the various stock med pens and all that. But look at this. This is really cool. And when I saw that, I was like, yes, that's awesome. So we have temperatures of the current water, cold 14 degrees, don't know if that's Fahrenheit or Celsius, and hot 38. I love that little touch. These little details are just excellent. And we can select which oxygen tanks it would seem here with a little MFD. That's kind of cool. But those taps are awesome. That's like almost Origin style styling. That is amazing. And we have the bed. So we'll hop in this. Again, we cannot log out from this position on the ship, so it is not going to be used for logging out. And then we have the monitor that drops down, and we can take care of any of our injuries, tier 3 injuries of course, and get the patient stabilized and off to the nearest medical center and or ship. So that's a very nice touch. I think this ship will almost certainly be a good little run around for the galaxy if you choose the medical module for that particular ship. So very cool. Oh, random bit of lag there, teleported me up, but I'm alive, I'm okay. And anything did happen, this is probably one of the best ships to be in. We do have the jump seat here, and you will be able to sit in this with all your armor on, not a problem. And the bar comes down, and then of course we have the digital medical assistant, where you can take care of said patient. So all cool, very cool stuff, and it will put a drain on the system resource, ship resources in the future. Radar, computer, scanner, and shield generator, all located just behind the pilot's seat with these cool MFDs and things like that. Okay, so let's now hop into the pilot's seat. Nothing too flashy, just in and a swivel. Boom, in we go, and we're greeted by a fairly respectable view. A little bit cramped on the left in terms of what you can see, and on the right, but MFD wise, everything easy to read, everything at your fingertips, maybe a little bit spread out, so you will be using the front two more than the others, I think, just for ease of looking around, ease of reach, etc. I think the front two MFDs are probably going to be the most used, but nothing too arduous. It's a nice cockpit. I love the detailing in here, every nook cranny, there's bolts and all of that good stuff, so they haven't skimped on it at all, and it's been released to a very good standard, except for the component access, which I think, like I said, will be, maybe they'll do the whole Pisces group of ships as a one-time pass for all of them. So there we go, guys, that was my video on the C8R Pisces. It's an excellent ship. I'm having bags of fun with it, and I'm almost certainly going to enjoy it a lot more in the future. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you did, you know what buttons to press, and I will have more Star Citizen content en route to your location soon. Cheers!